إن الحمد لله الذي حمل أمة الإسلامية لقيادة البشرية حتى يتم إرشادهم ورعايتهم وتوجيههم لتحقيق الغاية الذي من أجلها خلقهم الله سبحانه وتعالى، حيث قال سبحانه وتعالى: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. أحمده سبحانه وتعالى واشكره وأؤمن به وتوكل عليه واستغفره وأتوب إليه واستعين واستهديه وأعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا من سيئات أعمالنا، إنه ما يهديه الله فلا مهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأصلي وأسلم على خير خالق الله محمد المصطفى المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وكافة للناس بشيرا ونذيرا ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. وعلى سائر الأنبياء والرسل وعلى آله الطيبين وصحابته الأفاضل الأوفياء وعلى كل من دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته واهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الجمع. بعد، إخواني وأخواتي في الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run.
All praise is due to Almighty Allah.
Mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Fún oore tọ́lọ́run tó ṣe fún wa lénìí ká tó wá péjọ síbí lénìí.
For the opportunity given to us by Allah to gather here today.
Láti wá fi inú kónú.
For us to deliberate together.
Láti wá tó fi ara rora.
For us to rub minds together.
Láti yẹ ara wa wò.
For us to evaluate ourselves.
Níbo la ti ń bọ̀?
From where are we coming from?
Níbo la dé?
Where are we presently?
Níbo la ń lọ?
And what is our next step and where we are heading to?
Into bí Muharram gẹ̀dà nìyẹn.
That is the purpose that brought the emerging of Muharram get together.
Lẹ́bi ní ọdọọdún kọ̀ọ̀kan ló máa ń ní àsùntà.
That is why every year it always have a special theme.
Wọ́n ní ká yẹ̀wò lénìí lọ́dún eléyìí àwọn ọ̀làjú ìgbàlódé bí ọbalẹ̀ ayédé.
The present civilization, at what level has it taken the world to presently?
Tá a bára wa ń bẹ̀.
That we find ourselves.
Àwọn tá a bá tètè dé.
For those of us who are early today,
tá a gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àkọ́sọ tí olórí wa sọ.
that listen to the lecture delivered by the first Amir of TMC.
Olórí wa sọ.
Our Amir, the present Amir.
Tá a sì gbọ́rọ̀ tí ẹni tá a fi ṣe olórí ìjókòó yìí sọ.
And also the speech of the chairman of today's occasion.
Tá a sì gbọ́rọ̀ tí ẹni ọkọ̀ sí wá sí sọ.
And the first lecture we all listened to.
Gbogbo tí mo fẹ́ sọ pátá ni wọ́n ti sọ.
All that I have for you have been said by all these personalities.
Ṣùgbọ́n láyé mọ́sáláì mẹ́nu bà.
But for me not to just leave it like that, I would like to make my own contribution.
Pé ìgbógun dìde.
That is, waging war.
Sí gbogbo ń tá a bá ti pè ní Islam.
Against all that we see to be Islam.
Nílùú wa tá a wà ń bẹ̀ yìí.
In our country today.
Ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ni kì í sọ̀rọ̀ afá kan.
It's an issue that concerns all of us, not just for scholars alone.
Kálukú wa ni ó ní ìtàn lọ́dọ̀.
We, each and every one of us, has history to tell, has story to give.
Ní ìbámu bá a bá ṣe mú ẹ̀sìn wa sí.
In line with our level of conviction and our seriousness with our religion.
Tá a bá jẹ́ landlord.
If you are a landlord,
tá a bá ń ṣe meeting ní àjọkọ́lé.
if we are doing the landlord meeting as we used to do,
a kẹfin ìgbógun ọ̀tá dé sí Islam bẹ̀.
we will observe the war against Islam in that meeting.
Tá a bá jẹ́ aládùúgbò.
If we are tenants of the same streets,
tí a bá àwọn èèyàn míì lò.
that we relate with other people there.
Tá a bá ṣe Islam ká ṣe.
If we practice our Islam the way it should be,
a kẹfin ọ̀tá yìí bẹ̀.
we will observe this war against Islam.
tá a bá kọ́ mọ́sálásí.
If we build a mosque
sí àdúgbò kan.
in any area of our vicinity,
tá a la fẹ́ tẹ ọlọ́ọ̀bá ọlọ́mọdé ká tẹ lọ́rùn.
and we are there to please Allah alone,
a kẹfìn àwọn ọ̀tá ìmẹ̀.
we will observe the enemies waging war.
tá a bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbì kan.
If we are working in any company,
tá a bá ní àwòrán ìsìlámù tó yẹ ká ní.
if we have the feature of a Muslim,
ọkùnrin lọ́jẹ́ ni obìnrin lọ́jẹ́ ni.
either a male or female,
tọ́ lọ fẹ́ tẹ ọlọ́ọ̀bá rẹ lọ́rùn.
and you are ready to live an Islamic life,
ẹ kẹfìn ọ̀tá ìmẹ̀.
you will observe enemy in that company.
tá a bá wà ní inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú.
If you are in a political party,
gbogbo tí jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tó wà lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí.
in all existing party in our country today,
tá a bá la fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀sìn wa gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́lá ọba ṣe fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí olóṣèlú mùsùlùmí.
as a party member, if you want to practice your Islam the way it should be,
ẹ bá ìgbógun dọ̀tá ibẹ̀.
there's going to be war against you.
kò síbi tá a wò tá a bá ń bẹ̀.
There's no place that is left out that this will not be experienced by
àwọn
you.
èèyàn wá fi pamọ́ máa ń wá tó ń wí síta.
People are now not doing it secretly anymore. It is now a confrontation.
gbogbo tí ẹ bá ti gbóòórùn Islam lára ẹ̀ ní a máa ń gbógun tì.
All personality that they observe is trying to stand for
gbogbo tí
Islam.
bá ti gbóòórùn Islam lára ẹ̀ gbogbo tí bá ti gbóòórùn anything.
Anything that you smell Islam from, or you find Islam is coming from, there is going to be war against such.
níjọ́ tí ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tọ́lọ́hùn ò ní yáwó èlé.
The day the government of our country said they are not going to take the IMF loan or the interest,
tí wọ́n fún ní ìmọ̀ràn kó lọ yáwó ní OIC.
and he was advised to seek a loan from OIC.
ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn mùsùlùmí tí wọ́n ń yá ni lówó tí ò lélẹ̀.
And it's an organization put up by the Muslim that they give loans without taking interest.
ogun ní agbèdè jọ̀nà lọ́hùn.
There was a war against that government that was about to go for that loan.
níjọ́ tá à ń sọ yìí àwọn ìmọ̀ aláya ń bẹ láyé jọ̀nà lọ́hùn.
Then when this happening was up, Imam Alaya was still alive.
nínú àwọn àfáà tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ kíkankílẹ̀ lórí.
That was one of the scholars that heard his voice to tell us what we need to know about him.
wọ́n kó Okogie lẹ́sìn jọ̀nà lọ́hùn.
He was replying Okogie at that time.
àwọn tí wọ́n tako OIC ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí nìyẹn.
Because one of the first enemy of OIC in Nigeria is Okogie.
nígbà tí ìwé àlàwà dé.
And when Ngozi Iweala came on board,
ó wá sọ fún Ọbásanjọ́.
he told Obasanjo,
ibi tẹ́ ẹ sá fún yẹn bẹ̀ lọ́nà wà.
where you are running from, that is where you are going to receive success.
ní abilọ̀ ọjọ́ rẹ̀ sí láyé Ọbásanjọ́.
And that is why during the tenure of Obasanjo, Nigeria joined the OIC.
níbi ọdún mẹ́ta sẹ́yìn.
And 3 years backward now,
Central Bank náà fẹ́ ní Islamic banking.
the Central Bank approved of establishment of Islamic Bank in Nigeria,
tó pé Sanusi bá ń lè ní.
because Sanusi met that bill already signed in the constitution.
àwa náà máa ń tí ọ̀rọ̀ Islamic banking dálẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí.
We all knew what went wrong at that time when the emerging of Islamic banking was about to come up.
bẹ́ẹ̀ sì wá máa rí gbogbo ẹnu.
And that is how we will be observing it.
torí díẹ̀ àwa mùsùlùmí kò sí ọ̀nà àbáyọ ká dó tẹ̀sìn wa lọ.
For us as Muslims, there's no other way out for us than to keep focusing and practicing our Islam as it should be.
mo fún yín ní àpèjúwe ilé ìkẹ́ máa fi ṣe ìwòsàn yòókù.
All these are illustrations given to you for you to ponder over every week.
ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ kan wà ńlẹ̀
But there's an issue on ground
tó ju gbogbo ń dá ń sọ yìí lọ.
that is bigger than all that we are talking about.
ìyẹn gan-an ni mo fẹ́ mẹ́nu léjù.
And that is the issue I'm here to address.
àgà fún àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn àfáà tí wọ́n wà níjókòó.
Especially for my co-scholars on seats in this gathering.
tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ ti ń lọ.
That we are bereft of what is happening around us.
torí díẹ̀ àárín ẹ̀kẹ́ máa dá sí lọ títí.
For that,
àárín káwọn èèyàn fa máa dá sọ̀rọ̀ lọ títí.
we observe that not many scholars do hear their voice into these issues.
káàfẹ́ ká máa dá sí látàsíkò yìí lọ.
And we want us to change that stand to hear our view to the issue.
pé báwọn àfáà ò dá sí rárá o.
Because though we are not saying not all of them have shut their mouth.
Kódà ní ìjẹta ìjẹta bàbá wa ní Nawaruddin bàbá Ìmáàmù Abdulmajid kọ́lọ́wọ́n bàbá ní lọ́rẹ̀ bàbá náà wọ́n dá sọ̀rọ̀.
And Sheikh Abdulmajid was one of the scholars who has made his own contribution.
Òun náà ní National Conference. Àpérò orílẹ̀-èdè tí ń bọ̀ wájú wa.
And that is the national conference before that the government of today is proposing.
Àwọn àbẹ̀rẹ̀ kan bẹ̀.
There are some questions
tó ní ìdí kámọ́ntì lambẹ́lábẹ́.
that we need to
kámọ́ntì wà lábẹ́.
that we need to know what is behind them.
Àkọ́kọ́ Islam.
Firstly, our Islam
Ẹ̀sìn tó pé ni.
is a complete religion.
Tí ò sí ń tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe láyé tí ò dá sí.
That there's nothing in your life that he has not talked about.
Tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ tá a gbé ní hiwar ìforíkorí.
When we are talking about consultation,
Ìjíròrò.
deliberation,
Kò sí ẹ̀sìn tó ní ètò ìlérú tó Islam.
there's no other religion that has a well-planned approach to these two issues than Islam.
Tí àwọn àyà kọ́lé lórí Al-Qur'an Karim.
And there's a various verses of the glorious Quran are testifying to this
Tí
fact.
àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ Ànábì kọ́lé lórí.
And also the traditions of the prophet testifying to this fact.
Tí Ànábì náà jíròrò pẹ̀lú ẹlòmíì.
And even in the lifetime of the prophet, it was observed, it did that with other people.
Gbẹ́gbẹ́ ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè bá fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lára Islam kó pe àwọn Mùsùlùmí kí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀.
That is, if the government want to learn from Muslim, they need to call the Muslim for deliberation.
Gbogbo ń tẹ́ ń da láàmú sí òòlè tó bá nínú Islam.
All what you are stressing yourself over are small things before Islam.
Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́.
The first question,
Kí ló bí ìforíkorí?
what led to mutual consultation?
Ìbéèrè ni tí a fẹ́ gbé èsì lọ́dọ̀ ìjọba.
It's a question that we need an answer from our government.
Kí ló jẹ́ tó ìpásìkò yìí lẹ ní ẹ fẹ́ foríkorí?
Why is it this time we have chosen for that national conference for deliberation?
Sọ pásìkò yìí mu.
Does it goes along with the happenings of this time?
Ṣé ẹ ti rò pé ìforíkorí yìí ìṣòro tí ń bẹ wájú yín ò lè yanjú ẹ̀?
Do you think this conference will solve the pervading challenges before you?
Àbí ẹ kàn fẹ́ lásìkò láre.
Or do you want to just waste our time?
Ẹ tún fẹ́ pariwo mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa pa.
Or do you still want to blow into the air just like you used to do before?
A ní ìdíkẹ́ dáhùn béèrè fún wa.
We want them to answer this question.
Lẹ́yìn náà ni pé ńgbà bàjẹ́ ẹgbà yìí pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe ìforíkorí.
If at all you are convinced that this conference needs to come up,
Kí lójú ṣe House of Rep, House of Senate?
what is the responsibility or role of House of Rep and Senate?
Lórí pé a ní sọ̀rọ̀ ń lù kí lẹ́ni wọn lọ sẹ́mẹ̀.
As regards the challenges the country is facing, what are they there for?
Ṣé wọn lọ gbowó lásán ni?
Are they there to just collect their monthly stipend?
Ó hàn yí pé nǹkan mi látọ̀ fẹ́ dá ẹlẹ̀ tó yàtọ̀ sí ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀.
It shows we are about to cook up another issues in addition to what is on the ground before.
Ó túmọ̀ sí pé ìjọba tí ń bẹ ń bá wa tó náà kan wọ́n tó fẹ́ sọ̀ fún orílẹ̀-èdè. Ó mọ̀ pé ìjọba tí ń bẹ ńlẹ̀ yìí a ti gbà pé kò kájú ẹ̀.
It shows that the present government is incapable.
Ẹ jẹ́ ẹ sọ fún kó resign.
We need to tell him to resign from the office.
Ńgbà tí yàn bá jẹ́ baálé ìjọba tí lè darí orílẹ̀ kó fẹ̀yìntì ni.
If you are a leader and you are unable to take charge, it's enough for you honorably resign from the office.
Wọ́n tún wá ní sovereign conference.
And they say there's a sovereign conference coming up.
Ẹ mọ̀ túmọ̀ ẹ ní.
Do you know the meaning of that?
Gbogbo tí àwọn bá sọ wọn àgbọ̀dọ̀ yẹ̀ wò.
That
Ó
is-
dòfin nìyẹn.
All that is being said in that conference has become a law.
Níbo orú ẹ̀ ti wà lórí ayé.
Where are we found that in the world today?
Máa kọ́ ọkọ̀ kóra wọn jọ.
That some people just gather themselves together
Wọ́n dàgbárí jọ fún léde tí ò dé ní 160 million.
and they will just put up some their own ideas together for people of 160 million in population.
Pé tí wọ́n bá ti wí ó ti dòfin.
And what they deliberated on, they conclude on, has become a law.
Bó lẹ pé orílẹ̀-èdè yìí rí?
What do you take Nigerians for?
Àwọn olè wọn kó wà ń bẹ̀ rí.
What kind of people do you think are Nigerians?
Abala kan ni.
That is one aspect.
Èyí tó wà nílẹ̀ tó kíjọba rán.
The one on ground, an issue that the government needs to concern itself with,
Tó ẹ̀kọ́ mójútó lásìkò tá a wà yìí.
that needs to give total attention at this present moment,
Òṣì.
that is poverty.
Kí lè tó ìjọba tí ń bẹ́ ń ta ẹ̀ fún ètò òṣì?
What is the plan of the present government for poverty elevation?
Ebe attend the UN resolution.
It is obvious they attend UN resolution sometimes before.
Síbẹ̀ àwọn pé 2015 ni wọ́n ní àgbẹ̀ kàtẹ́lẹ̀ pé àsìkò tó wà fẹ́ ká òṣì kúrò lórí ayé kí wọ́n tó sọ di 220.
It was agreed before that 215 is the year of poverty elevation, eradication of poverty in the world, but it was changed to 2020.
Ọdún mélòó kù wájú wa?
How many years does it remain before we get there?
Kí ni ètò ìjọba tí ń bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí ìgbógun tòṣì?
What is the plan of the present government, as we have said, for poverty elevation?
Ìjọba tó sọ yí pé ńgbà táwọn kan bá daṣẹ́ lẹ̀ ní ọ̀tọ̀ lísì sáwọn èèyàn.
A government that is on when the citizens take up protests, that it is then that it will now listen.
Táwọn medical doctor bá daṣẹ́ lẹ̀.
For example, the strike of the medical doctors,
Ìbánijọ́bọ̀ tó wà mọ̀ pé ẹ kò ń dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ health.
and that is the time the government will now see reason to take charge of the health sector.
Ẹ wo ọjọ́ táwọn aṣọ ti ń bẹ́ńlé.
Look at the days or months the ASU strike is still on.
Ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ, ẹ wo bọ́rọ̀ wọn ṣe dà.
Look at the situation of our present students in all the tertiary institutions in our country today.
Ọjọ́ iwájú orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ fi ń ráre yìí.
We are toiling and playing with the future of Nigeria.
Àwọn ọmọ dúró lè.
The students have turned to thieves.
Wọ́n dọ̀ máa mú gbó.
They have become perverts.
Wọ́n dọ̀ ń ṣìnà.
They become adulterers and fornicators.
Wọ́n di àdàlúrú.
They become towels that cause chaos.
Ẹsẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìṣèjọba ìjọba wo lẹ́ ń ṣe gan?
And you claim to be government in power. What is your effect?
Corruption ó di ìwà àgbàlódé.
Corruption has been the order of the day.
Ní Ghana ń bẹ̀ yẹn.
Ghana as a country over there,
Ọ̀kan náà àwọn olóṣèlú ó sọ̀rọ̀ lásán ni tó túmọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ corruption wọ́n sì yọ kónú stem.
one of the politicians was said to have addressed an issue, and it seems that he's trying to celebrate corruption. He was removed from office.
Àwọn èèyàn kówó ra mọ́tò kí mọ́mọ́ ràn ẹ̀ wá tó ń yẹ̀ wò ẹ̀ tó ń gbé yẹ̀ wò ẹ̀ tó lẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ tó yẹ kó tó kó lọ́fíìsì pátápátá.
People mismanage the fund of the Nigeria for purchasing bulletproof cars. When he or she is supposed to be dealt with, it was subjected to what? Investigation.
Wọ́n náà wáyé mílíọ̀nù báyìí tí lákàntì ìjọba. So owó yẹn fẹsẹ̀ rìn lọ ní ó sì tán síbẹ̀.
Certain millions was said to have disappeared from the cover of the government, and nothing is done on it.
Lẹ́yìn náà,
After all this,
àwọn tí wọ́n ń polongo national conference.
those who are the propagators of the national conference,
Akọ̀bíyàn lè rè pé who are you?
we want to ask them,
Ta ni yín?
who are you?
Wọ́n sì ń tàn yín jẹ. Àwọn èèyàn orí tákàdá tí ò lè dìbò wọlé ládùúgbò ẹ̀.
And they are deceiving us.
Bàbá ní kí àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀ dìbò kò lè wọlé.
These people, the propagandas, have no moral justification for them to put up a poll button for a post that will make them to emerge as a winner.
Àwọn ariwo onú tákàdá nìkan.
They are just mere writers into papers.
Sáwọn ọmọ tí ń ṣe wá.
Do they know what is wrong with us?
Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n gbé àpótíkà tẹ̀ rí kí wọ́n bá tó fi ìbò ẹ̀rí kò lè wù ládùúgbò ẹ̀.
Let them come up as a candidate, and you see what will happen to them at the end of the
Ìwọ náà
day.
máa sọ̀rọ̀ fún wa.
It is such personality that will now be keeping direction, taking direction for other people.
wọ́n tún bá pariwo míì ni.
They are about to make another noise as they used to do.
kí wọ́n sọ ìtàn wọn fún wa kí ni ipa wọn lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí.
Let them give us their history of their effect or their impact in the development of this
tí
country.
wọ́n lẹ́ni tí ó da sọ fún tọ́nu ẹ̀ láwò.
And those who is to tell you to do something, we have to use that person as an example. Show us your legacy for us to know you are saying something important. When Abiola was alive, before he put up himself as a candidate, it shows in his habits and his dealing that he's a serious patriotic citizen of Nigeria. We all voted him in. And we want you to come out like that. Lay hands on what you have done as a sign of legacy in this country. Have you ever agreed on any issue before? Point out an issue that you have agreed upon before. You never for once united on an issue. Do you have a leader? Or you are about to come up with the kangaroo gathering, and at the end of the day, Ghana must follow each and every one of you. Do you want to take your own shares of the national cake? That is another aspect. Another one. And that is the committee set up for the coming national conference. It's obvious that committee will never succeed. How do they come to being? Where do you put the rules of the Muslims? Those who are there, are they the people to speak for the Muslims? We have one of our leaders in our midst now. None of them is appointed. The scholars are here with us. National conference. If you are sincere with your national conference, the Muslims must not be left out. We need to be consulted.
Professor Isaac Oloyede.
That is why our father, Professor Isaac Oloyede, sorry, that emerged to replace our father, Lateef Adegbite. May Allah forgive Elijah Adegbite and preserve the life of the present Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. He said he has seen the coming national conference as a mere child play.
National conference, Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. If you are to do a true national conference, the Supreme Islamic Affair needs to be consulted. And the funniest part of it are the setup of gatherings in the southwest. Release Baba Professor Lakin.
And one of our scholar, Professor Lakin, he called our attention to some issues. All the two places that deliberation had came up, Ondo State and Lagos State. Ondo State and Lagos State. They fix it on Jumat Day, Friday.
1:30 meeting.
And the meeting will start by 1:30.
Say Musmigidi. You are one meeting ni 1:30. 12:30 to 3:30.
It's obvious that a sincere Muslim would not be found in such a gathering. And Professor said it's obvious that they have removed you from the setting as a deliberate action.
Visit Saturday, visit Sunday.
You did not place it on Saturday or Sunday.
Visit Role, visit Sale.
You did not put it in the morning or the evening time. It's an insult on the Muslims.
àrífín gbà ni.
A big insult and embarrassment on the
ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀
Muslims.
ṣe mítìnì lọ́jọ́ Friday láago káàbọ̀.
A meeting built up for Friday for 1:30 p.m.
à ń sọ èyí fẹ́yìn bàbá kẹ́ ẹ máa ti ń lọ ní o.
We are saying all this for our fathers, for you to know what is happening
ìtí wọ́n
around
di
you.
lẹ́yìn yín là ń sọ fún yín o.
These are their scheming in your absence,
wọ́n
and
àmọ́ pé ń bẹ́ o.
they never know you exist,
àfi ká sọ pé à ń bẹ́ o.
except you tell them you exist.
kìí ṣe tìjà.
Now,
kìí ṣe tìjà.
it's not by fighting.
a fẹ́ béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni.
We are only asking for our rights,
torí pé àárín wọ̀lú yìí.
because we
wọ́n
didn't
jọ
walk
bí àṣìlú yìí ni.
we are well bred and born in this
a
country.
níbi níran ni wá.
We have history in this country.
bólẹ́sẹ̀ wa sọ pé tẹ́wàá máa bá wa lò bí àjòjì ní ìlú.
Why should you be relating with us as foreigners?
lẹ́yìn náà
After this,
kọ́mítì tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀
this committee,
kí ni wọ́n ní wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí.
what are their terms of reference?
kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́.
What is happening presently?
inú kan tẹ́fẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí.
One of the things they were charged with,
ọjọ́ mélòó la fẹ́ lò.
how many days is the conference will be staged?
lẹ́yìn náà ibo la fẹ́ lò.
And then venue.
lẹ́yìn náà àwọn oníkópa ń bẹ̀.
Who are the invited guests?
báwo la ṣe yan àwọn ètò kópa ń bẹ̀.
How do we select people to partake in that conference?
sáàjọ́ kópa ń bẹ̀ yìí.
Those who we are inviting,
ṣé òṣèlú láfihàn wọn ni.
are we appointing them by politics,
àbá yàn wọ́n pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ka tí a pín orílẹ̀ sí.
or by regional structure in Nigeria,
àbá yàn wọ́n pẹ̀lú ìran.
or by tribes in Nigeria?
àbí ẹ̀sìn láfihàn wọ́n.
Or are we using the religion to select them?
àwọn questions sí.
These are the questions
tí ó gbọ́dọ̀ jáde.
that must be answered.
tá a fẹ́.
That's our wish.
lẹ́yìn náà wá ní pé kí la fẹ́ sọ lọ́hùn.
Then what are we going to discuss?
ṣé gbogbo nǹkan lẹ́nu wá gbà láti sọ lọ́hùn.
Are we going to discuss everything, or there are no-go areas?
abá kí wọ́n bẹ tá a gbọ́ débẹ̀ yẹn ń pè ní khatul ahmar.
Or there are red lines that must not be crossed?
àwọn kan ní gbogbo ẹ̀ lásọ.
Some people are saying that we are going to discuss everything.
rárá o àlesọ gbogbo ẹ o.
We cannot talk about everything.
láìsẹ̀ méjì ń bẹ láìsẹ̀ méjì ń bẹ.
No doubt,
ẹ lè sọ gbogbo ẹ.
we cannot discuss everything.
bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọ gbogbo ń tẹ́fẹ́ sọ lọ. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá tiẹ̀ sọ gbogbo nǹkan ẹyọ kan ń bẹ tẹ́ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ sọ.
There is an area that you must not touch.
òun ni ká pín.
Is our corporate existence, our unity.
òun ni alẹ́ khatul ahmar.
It is-
láàmú sàṣà láhù.
Is the red line that must not be crossed. We must be together. Divided we fall, united we stand.
gbogbo ẹni ọba faramọ́ kí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí pín ọ̀tọ̀ Ọlọ́run ni ọ̀tọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ni.
Anybody that is talking about disunity, about dividing this country, is enemy of this country, enemy of God.
ọ̀nà ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀ ẹlẹ́fẹ́ fi pín ni ọ̀daràn níyí.
Either through ethnicity or tribalism, you are criminals.
ẹ̀sìn lẹ́fẹ́ fi pín ni ọ̀daràn níyí.
Either you are considering religion, it is a crime.
òṣèlú lẹ́fẹ́ fi pín ni ọ̀daràn níyí.
Politics, it is a crime against this country.
bọ́lá ń ṣe tó wá lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́fẹ́ fi pín ni ọ̀daràn níyí.
Whatever you consider, it is not, should not be touched.
ìlú tó ti wà tẹ́fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ 100 ọdún lẹ́fẹ́ pín.
A country that has existed for almost a century, we are now talking about dividing it. This is a crime.
sẹ́fẹ̀ yìí náà lẹ́yìn sọ pé fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọdún pé àjọ wà pọ̀ amalgamation of Nigeria 100 years.
Are we not talking about celebrating our centenary of amalgamation? Why now about disunity?
ẹ wá tún sọ pé pípín yẹn no go area ni.
You must not talk about that.
a lè gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkankan.
Our corporate existence should be sacrosanct. Nobody should talk about this.
sẹ́fẹ̀ ká pín.
Do you want us to go our separate ways?
No. sẹ́fẹ̀ ká pín.
Do you want us? Nigerians are saying no.
ẹ lọ bí Sudan léèrè.
Go and ask Sudan. What is their experience?
àrò orúkọ àrùn ọ̀rọ̀ adìẹ àti south àti north.
They are in turmoil. They are in crisis, both south and the north.
tẹ́ ẹ bá mọ ní tẹ́sán lọ sùn
If you don't know what you want to talk about, go and sleep. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أَكْثَرَ نَفِيرًا.
Nínú àwọn awuyewuye tó wá jẹyọ lórí àpérò.
Some of the problem emanated from this dialogue.
Issues. It's not a problem.
Issues that emanated from this dialogue.
Wọ́n ṣe dáhùn bá parí àpérò yìí sáwọn ó gbé lọ fún House of Reps of Senate for ratification.
Is he going to be subjected to National Assembly ratification?
Akànnì no.
Some people are saying no.
Akànnì yes.
Some people are saying yes.
Ẹ̀rí wàhálà dé.
There's a problem.
Wọ́n torí pé àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ wọ́n ṣe amendment òfin lọ́wọ́ kí wọ́n bá yẹn yí lọ.
Because the National Assembly is working on the amendment of the 99 Constitution, they should continue with that. This one is a sovereign national conference.
Wọ́n ní ṣe ká pè àwọn olóṣèlú náà sí àpérò yàrá ká mọ̀ pé wọ́n.
Are we going to involve the politician or not?
Akànnì ara ò mọ̀ náà ń dàrú.
That's another issue. They say no. Are they not responsible for our problem?
Wọ́n ní akànnì wọn ń dàrú bí wọ́n bá sí mbẹ́ àletò kẹlẹ́ yìí wọn.
Yes, but without them, there is nothing much we can do.
Wọ́n ṣe ìdá abájẹ́ fẹ́ yín àwọn èèyàn ṣáàwó àwọn ọmọ onílẹ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n bí ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan láfi mú wọn ni àbí àwọn àgbàjúmọ̀ láfi mú.
What should be the yardstick of our selection? Who are going to be the representative at this conference? Is it nationality? Is it birthplace or what? Are we to consider?
أو قبائل قديمة الأصلية.
The original tribes in Nigeria.
Gbogbo eléyìí ni àwọn awuyewuye jẹ́ ń bá yí lọ́wọ́.
These are the issues that emanated from this conference.
Níparí ọ̀rọ̀ mi.
In conclusion,
Ìmọ̀ràn.
these are the advice.
Àkọ́kọ́ àwọn Mùsùlùmí.
First, for the Muslims,
Ojúṣe àkọ́kọ́ fún àwọn bàbá wa.
the role for our fathers, our leaders of the Muslim Ummah in Nigeria.
Speakers of Affairs level lónìí o.
Either you are using the platform of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs
Mùsùlùmí level lónìí o.
or the Muslim Ummah of Southwestern Nigeria,
Sẹ́wọ̀ level lónìí o.
Conference of Islamic Organization,
Rọ́bìtà level lónìí o.
Rabita, the Rabita of the Scholars, League of Imams and Alphas.
Ó di ọ̀nà kẹjọ́kọ́.
You must converge, meet.
Ẹ fẹ́ dá sí abẹ́ fẹ́ dá sí.
Are you going to support and have a say or not?
Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ dá sí kí lẹ fẹ́ wí lóhùn.
If you want to be a part of it, what is going to be your submission?
Pé ọ̀tọ̀ ní tẹ́ máa sọ ní Èkó, ọ̀tọ̀ ní wọ́n máa sọ l'Ákúrẹ́.
So that you have a common front, common voice for the Muslims.
Ọ̀tọ̀ tẹ́ máa sọ lẹ̀ Ìbàdàn máa sọ lẹ̀ Haúsá.
So that you not have a say Muslim in the north or Muslim in the south.
Ojúṣe kan nìyẹn.
That is one of the roles that are
Àwọn
leaders.
aṣojú bàbá ìmáàmù ń bẹ́ ń jókòó.
The representative or chief imam of Lagos is here present. Sheikh Ramadan is here present.
Ìyẹn jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́.
That is our first advice for our leaders.
Tábà wá dá sí àwọn láàyàn lọ́jọ́ lọ dá sí.
If we are to present, we have to have a position. Who are going to represent the Muslims?
Kí la fi sí wọn lẹ́nu?
What is going to be our message? To
Sáájọ́
comfort?
sójú wa ni àmọ́ tí wọ́n lọ gbàbọ̀dé.
Are they the true representative or who are going there to represent their pause?
Tó ló tún lọ dára wọn lọ́hùn.
That is going to join them there.
Tó wá di àlọ́ rámírámí.
There will be a lost representative. Lordship.
Lẹ́yìn náà,
Then,
òun náà ni wípé àwọn tá a bá tiẹ̀ fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ nǹkan tó ń gbóná lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àkọ́kọ́ ń bẹ̀ lọ security.
if we are to have a position, we must not forget that the most important thing is security, safety first.
Ìlú jẹ́ òsì ààbò ń bẹ̀.
If there is no security, no safety,
Ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a lò tán yìí.
During
òun ni
this week-
ní Ọ̀ṣun State ní apá ọba kan wọ́n sọ ọba kan mọ́lé. Ọba ìlú.
just this last week, a ruler, a sitting
Ọba-
monarch,
Ọba ìlú.
a sitting king on throne was set ablaze
Kí ni
and
ọba
killed.
ṣe?
What can a king do to deserve this?
Ìlú náà nù.
That is the country.
Ìlú tí ẹ̀mí ò ti nítumọ̀.
The life is not the sacrosanct.
Ọ̀rọ̀ Boko Haram.
The Boko Haram issue,
Ìjọba set the amnesty committee.
amnesty committee set up by the government,
Kò tí ì gbé sí.
They have not even listened to the outcome.
ó declare state of emergency.
The government declared the state of emergency in about 5 states.
àsìkò tó dá ó tún jó tán.
The time had lapsed.
ó wá lọ bá Amẹ́ríkà nísìnyí wá gbà wálẹ̀.
He now went to America.
Amẹ́ríkà rí gbé ó rẹ̀ gbálẹ̀.
There is no result. America is not even is unable to secure his people.
òun àti Taliban ti ń wọ ní ìsìtìlẹ̀ lọ́dún mọ́kànlá.
They have started with Taliban for more than 11 years now.
wọ́n fẹ́ negotiate nísìnyí.
They are now they finally they settle down for peace talk.
yálẹ̀ ní Amẹ́ríkà ná $1 billion lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Taliban.
Every year, America spent nothing less than $1 billion only on Taliban.
nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ sọ.
One of the issues you must not forget to discuss.
owó àwọn olóṣèlú ti pọ̀ jù ó jẹ́ ń gba ti pọ̀ jù.
It is the cost of running government in Nigeria is too expensive.
ẹ dínkù.
Must be cut down.
lẹ́yìn náà àwọn ọ̀nà tá à ń gbà sòṣèlú yìí ó ti mú wàhálà dání jù àìmọye mínísítà tí ò jẹ́ ní nǹkan kan tí ń ṣe ó ṣàjẹ́ mínísítà náà ni.
There are a lot of portfolios without office. No, nothing to do. They are just there.
house kan ti tó house of rep house of senate ti tó.
Lot of
Take one.
PASA. One of the houses is enough. Either Senate or House of Rep.
ẹ wá àwọn èèyàn kan kájú ẹ̀ síbẹ̀.
Just look for the capable people, the people that are worthy.
lẹ́yìn náà
Then, similarly,
ọ̀rọ̀ freedom of religion ṣe pàtàkì gan.
we must not forget to talk about freedom of religion, fundamental human right.
ẹ̀yin bàbá wa ẹ bá ní sọ̀rọ̀ yìí fún ìjọba.
We are sending you our leaders to present this to our government.
bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá nínú gbọ̀n wọn ò ní gbà síṣẹ́.
If you are a bearded people, you will not be employed. With hijab, no way, no admission, no employment.
wọ́n tún wá jà wá lógun wọ́n tún jà wá lógun lọ́ọ̀tá.
They're waging war against Islam and Muslims, even outside.
ní Amẹ́ríkà ní Washington
In Washington,
ní embassy wọn lọ́hùn.
Nigeria embassy in Washington.
inú àwọn release táwọn MPAC german release fan gbogbo gbà.
One of the release by MPAC,
ọmọ lọ fún passport wọn ni kó sí etí ẹ lẹ kó yọ etí ẹ sílẹ̀.
a Nigerian lady, Muslim lady, went to Nigeria embassy in New York, in Washington. They asked her to remove her hijab, to expose her.
ó wá ń fa wọn ní tí òfin Nàìjíríà sọ nìyẹn òfin wo ń sọ.
They said that is what is in Nigerian constitution. Which constitution?
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Jamaica wọ́n ṣe mítìnì ní embassy.
Also in Jamaica, they were holding a public.
mùsùlùmí nìkan tó lo hijab.
Only Muslim lady with hijab there.
bàrà tí ambassador sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní egungun.
Ambassador said egungun to a Muslim lady in hijab in Jamaica.
ẹ rí wá fín o.
Embassy that's supposed to be protecting Nigerian outside.
ẹ rí wá fín o.
You are molesting Nigerian Muslims.
ẹ rí ẹ̀sìn wá fín o.
Government, you are not doing well to Muslims.
ẹ ń wá àbùkù o.
This is embarrassing and you are looking for trouble.
tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run bínú sí yín.
If you don't want the wrath of Allah to descend on you, it's high time to stop all this molestation and embarrassment.
ẹ wà nílùú dàrú ilẹ̀ ìfẹ́ dàrú.
You are the cause of the problem.
kí ni ìjáàbù kó bánú ṣe.
What has hijab done to you? What problem?
àwọn kan rìn òhò ẹ gbógun tì wọ́n.
You are not talking about people moving about nakedly in nudity.
wọ́n bá àwọn ọmọ sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ń ṣe Islam wọ́n á gbìyànjú wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe Islam ẹ tún sọ́dọ̀gún.
The people that are morally, they are Nigerian, they are dressing well, they are good citizens. What has been problem in that?
torí díẹ̀.
Therefore,
ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn freedom of ó di pàtàkì.
freedom of religion, especially Muslims, is very, very important.
ìtẹ̀sìn wa bá mú wa fún wa.
Give us allow us to practice our religion as dictated in Quran and Sunnah.
láìpẹ́ wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ release kan jáde tí wọ́n wọ àwọn tí wọ́n bẹ ní present government federal government wọ́n ní 12% láwọn tí wọ́n di ipò ńláńlá mú ìdá 95% ni wọ́n kì í ṣe mùsùlùmí.
Recently, there was a release that about 95% of office holders in federal government ministries and parastatals are non-Muslims. 95% of our leaders are non-Muslim in a country whereby 60 to 65% of the populace are Muslims.
kájà gbé 50-50.
Even say 50-50.
bó jẹ́ pé àmọ̀pẹ́ ìtàn ayé ni nígbà tẹ́mi bí ọmọ 14 tí wọ́n bí ẹyọ kan tọ́wọ́ ní ó ṣe déédéé ara wọn.
You have 4 wives, he has 1. Kabirullah.
Allahu Akbar.
50-50 ẹ fún wa 50-50 yẹn náà.
Even say 50-50. Give us that 50-50. Not 5-95.
torí díẹ̀ ẹ̀yin bàbá iṣẹ́ ń bẹ lọ́dọ̀ yín o.
Our leaders, you have a lot of roles to play.
lẹ́yìn náà ká sì ní ètò ẹkọ́nọ́mì tó bá nǹkan mu tá à ní gbé ara lé IMF tàbí World Bank.
Also, our economy should be independent. We must have a sustainable economy that will not rely on either IMF or World Bank.
eléyìí ni díẹ̀ inú mọ̀ràn mi.
These are some of the pieces of advice. May Allah accept all this as act of ibadah.
àwọn àgbàlagbà ń bọ̀ láti dá sí.
Our leaders are here. They are coming to give their words of advice.
a tọrọ fún orílẹ̀-èdè wa.
We now pray for our country, our nation, Nigeria.
Ọlọ́run kó wà pẹ̀lú wa.
May Allah be with us.
ààbò Ọlọ́run kó sọ̀kalẹ̀
May
alẹ́.
Allah secure our nation.
àánú Ọlọ́run kó sọ̀kalẹ̀ alẹ́.
May Allah bless this country.
ìṣọ̀kan Ọlọ́run fi sáàrin wa.
May Allah unite our nation.
àwọn olórí wa Ọlọ́run bá ní wà pẹ̀lú
May
wọn.
Allah be with our leaders.
ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ olórí ẹ̀sìn.
The religious leaders,
àtàwọn mùsùlùmí àtàwọn kristian Ọlọ́run bá ní wà pẹ̀lú wọn.
Muslim, Christians alike, may Allah
àwọn
be
jẹ́ ń
with
darí
them.
wa nínú òṣèlú.
Our political leaders,
láì ìjọba àpapọ̀ tí dé local government.
from federal, state, and local government,
Ọlọ́run bá ní wà pẹ̀lú wọn.
may they be guided.
gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ Islam ẹgbẹ́ ọkùnrin ẹgbẹ́ obìnrin
All
ẹgbẹ́ àgbà ẹgbẹ́
Muslim
ọmọdé.
organizations and associations,
Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú wa.
the male, the female, the youth, may Allah be with you all.
gbogbo ohun tí wàá jẹ́ ìṣòro léde Ọlọ́run bá ní mo kó ń bẹ̀.
May Allah solve all our problems
àtọ́ gbogbo orílẹ̀ ayé.
and all the world at large,
àgà Egypt,
especially Egypt,
Syria,
Syria,
Tunisia,
Tunis,
Iraq,
Libya, Iran, Iraq, Sudan, Somalia.
subhana rabbika.
رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين